Guests appear on the River Islands guest line, and it's time for Clear to Play. We're going to take you inside the tent, get you updated on the latest injuries in the Bay. Proud to partner with UCSF Health on this segment and bring in Professor of Orthopedic Surgery, Dr. Nirav Pandya. Hey, Doc, what's going on?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
We are doing fantastic. My first question is, what did you see from Kyle Harrison in his return from an ankle injury? Anything to think about there with the way he performed?
No, I think the big thing you're looking for is, are individuals moving good? Are they showing any signs of compensation? Are they compensating at all? I didn't really see any of that. I mean, statistics and performance kind of come with time anytime you're out of your rhythm, but I think that's a good sign moving forward. Didn't see any movement issues, so I think that bodes well for him, hopefully staying healthy and not having another ankle issue moving forward.
Blake Snell back tonight on the bump. He's had a couple of rehab starts, and the groin apparently has held up pretty well there. What do you look for tonight from Blake Snell back in the bigs?
I think we'll have a pretty good performance. I mean, one of the things we kind of look at, I mean, obviously you don't want a player to go through, these adductor issues and have hip issues, but given the fact that he just simply didn't have a lot of time, in the off season to get ready just with all the free agency stuff, this might actually be a little bit of a blessing in disguise where he's actually got an extended period of time to work on all those things that potentially he could have worked on in the offseason. So barring an injury aside, maybe we're going to see that Cy Young type Snell performance moving forward because he's had this time off to rehab, work on his mechanics, work on all those things that may have taken place in the offseason.
Okay, Doc Pandya, we have got a conspiracy theory among us right now. And there was discussion knowing that you were coming on about Tyro Estrada. He has just been reinstated from the injured list. The Giants called it a left wrist strain. But our own Mark Grandy, he believes that something is amiss. Grandy, what do you think was going on?
Well, Melvin was asked when he went on the IL, and he said, well, he's just had ice all over him the last week because he's been fouling balls off his shins, off his legs. So I figured it was more than just a left wrist because he had been banged up all over the place.
Doc, what does it mean when you got ice all over the place?
It's not a good sign. It means you're banged up. You've got, this little soft tissue injury here, injury over there. So sometimes it's hard to say you're banged up on the injured list. So you just say, look, the wrist is probably the worst one, so we're going to put that out there. But sometimes you just need a little rest.
Sometimes you have ice all over the place and you're just having a barbecue. Am I right, Doc?
True, yeah. That's especially with 4th of July, a lot of ice out there.
Yeah, exactly. Ice everywhere. Dr. Nirav Pandya here on 95.7 The Game. Steph Curry's playing in the Olympics. What's your panic level over the possibility of the chef getting fatigued?
I am a little bit worried about it. I mean, especially for someone who potentially may not have been in the Olympics, before like Steph has to win a medal. Obviously he's going to be a centerpiece. You see all the highlights of him, taking down all the other players. So I do worry about, is he going to exert himself a lot and then come into a season where he hasn't had his normal routine. He's played a lot of basketball. And if they don't make a move, he's the number one scoring option. And then he's going to have to exert himself even more. So I think that fatigue risk is definitely there. Obviously he's a superstar. He wants to perform in the Olympics, but there could be a trickle down effect into the season. With fatigue, and hopefully you're not going to have any other issues pop up from an injury standpoint as well, too.
Doc, do you want to say the first sentence that you said to Dibs slower? Do you want to slow down and say again, I am a little bit worried about Steph Curry? Could we get that soundbite from you?
Yeah, I am a little bit worried about Steph Curry.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Doc, you don't have to be his puppet.
That's from an orthopedic surgeon. Your thoughts when Steph ran around with a bloody hand in the very first practice? I want to drive to Vegas and bring him home myself.
Yeah, I mean, you worry. I mean, part of the issue you also worry about is that you get in a setting, and obviously all the veterans, all the team is playing really well and playing together, but then you get a lot of the young players in who want to prove themselves. And do you worry that someone's going to be like, I'm going to show Steph Curry up? Cooper Flagg is going to be like, this is my time to shine. So you'd also worry about that as well, too. And then when you get in the Olympics, you've got a lot of other teams that may not necessarily have that reputation, and they want to put their best foot forward against someone like Steph Curry. So just all these other factors you have to worry about.
Doc, you're a real doctor. I'm a radio doctor, and it's not often where you actually have more knowledge than I do. But Kyle Anderson with thoracic outlet syndrome, can you explain that to the audience? What level of concern you have about that?
Yeah, it's definitely when you hear that, you're like, oh, geez, that sounds like that could be an issue moving forward. But basically what that situation is when you kind of have some compression of nerves and blood vessels around your neck. And he had surgery for that, where you basically, for the most part, take out part of your rib or whatever's compressing it, and it should not be an issue anymore. So people hear thorax, they think, is this going to be an issue with breathing? Is this going to be a problem that moves that he has moving forward. But the good news about this is once you get that surgery done and you don't have those symptoms, it should not be an issue anymore. And he's played 70-plus games the past 5 years. So you're getting someone who may move slowly, but is definitely out on the court a lot, moving forward.
Doc, what about Melton? Whenever you hear someone's got a history of back problems, that right, there's red flags. But this specific one, is there a reason for worry?
I think the fact that they said they didn't have a structural issue is more just kind of this inflammation in the lower back. He took a lot of time off last season. Seems to be not complaining about it right now based on the reports, and he's got Rick Celebrini to work with. I'm not super worried about it. Now, if he starts missing some time to it early in the season, I get worried about it, but this may be an opportunity for him to work on his mechanics, come back healthy, and come back as a better player because he's in the right system now.
Doc, there is a Bring Steph Home bonfire this weekend that I'm throwing. Would you like to be my guest?
I will be there. I will be your guest. Absolutely.
There it is.
I'm worried.
We are going to make s'mores, and we are going to toast to Steph Curry being off of Team USA. There it is. Thank you, Doc.
No problem, guys. I'll see you in the morning next week, maybe.
Oh, my God.
Exciting,
that's right.
yeah.
Do you have surgery scheduled or something at that hour?
I'm a package with you guys. I'll come. I'm coming with you. You go in the morning, I come in the morning too.
Perfect.
We'll make the changes.
Just tell the patient you got to scrub out for 8 minutes, and then you can scrub back in.
Yeah, that wouldn't go very well.
yeah. Hey, patient, BRB. Probably not. All right, thanks, Doc.
All right, take care, guys.
All right, the proceeding was sponsored by UCSF Health. Yeah, we're having